So I've been asked, does white privilege exist? And my answer is yes. White privilege most definitely does exist. I'm going to show you guys some stuff that's my proof of white privilege does exist. See, I am biracial. I am Indian and white. Or as white people like to say, I am Native American and white. Now I'm going to show everybody that, I'm proving to people that white privilege does exist. See, back in the day, back in 2006, this city right here banned the 4th of July. And I'm going to go down here where I did an interview. My wife did an interview, and a couple other people, they were tourists. They were actually tourists, and they were doing an interview themselves. And with the national news about the 4th of July being banned, so those people, they did a little interview. They did a little street interview and said that they had just rented a hotel room right down the street. They just walked right down Main Street just to see what was here. And they found out that this city banned the 4th of July. And that was pretty messed up for them. I don't know. I guess this dude's sleeping. I guess he's waiting for a different shade of green. So we did this interview down here, and the whole city was kind of up in arms, but nobody was really doing anything but me. I'm the one that called the national news. I'm the one that reported that this city banned the 4th of July. And I say that because they made fireworks, sparklers, smoke bombs, the little snakes, everything like that, the little tanks, that just, all they do is sparks and smoke. $250 fine for anything and everything, $250 fine. And it was right down here I did the interview. And so it's just like I said, it's a bunch of white people. I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. It is what it is. So I did the interview right here on the corner. Right there on the corner. And then the other people did the interview right here. And so we did I did the interview, my wife did the interview, other people did the interview. It made the national news all for about 3 minutes, if that. 2 or 3 minutes, and you would think that something, banning the 4th of July in America would be something that would be all over the news. No, they buried that. Everybody wanted to bury that. Everybody wanted to bury it. That's white privilege, when you can ban the 4th of July and nobody hears about it. That right there is white privilege. Now I'm going to show you another step. It goes a little bit further. And on how deep white privilege actually goes. So a month later, in August, I took my wife and I took our 2 boys, because our youngest son had a doctor's appointment to go see some specialists, have a whole bunch of tests done. We went down, spent the night, and had a whole bunch of tests and stuff done with my son, and then spent another night because it was a long day, and we come back, on a Saturday, and we come down this road. Actually, we're coming down this road. Right up here, we're gonna make a left, and I'm gonna show you where we expected our house to be. We expected our house to be here because it had been a long weekend. It's Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Saturday. And we come up this road, and I'm like, wait a minute, something ain't right. And I'm like, where did our house go? That used to be our house. Our house used to sit there, a 3-story Victorian home. And this is why I say there are levels of white privilege. There most definitely are. Oh my goodness. I forgot about having a lowered car on this street. It's been a couple of decades. Well, it's been 16 years since I've parked on this street. Anyways, my house is bigger. Our house is bigger than that greenhouse that sits there. And it was way nicer. It was voted the nicest Victorian home in the county 8 different times. And that's where my house used to sit. And my house was way up here by where this little carport thing is. That used to be my basement. And they all came here and told me that it wasn't done by retaliation, because I came home. When we came home, there's a 22-ton excavator sitting there on the first floor of where our house used to be. Again, ground level is the bottom of my basement. Where that wall is right there, that's where my first floor started. So there was an excavator sitting there. And they all told me it wasn't retaliation for calling the national news on them for reporting that they banned the 4th of July. Nope. See, that's white privilege when you can steal a house and almost $300,000 in cash. That was my paint shop. That's where I did my airbrushing. So it's like a whole new level of white privilege when you can literally steal a house, claim the homeowner's insurance money, go to court, and then state that, well, the dude shouldn't have had the house anyways, because the only way he could afford it, if he could afford it, is if he was a drug dealer. And that's what they said about me in court after they took my house. So you want to tell me that there's no white privilege, yet a whole bunch of white people got together, banned the 4th of July, and then a month later tore our house down and stole our homeowner's insurance money? And then throughout the court hearing said that a bear did it. A bear started my house on fire. And said that some other people burned it down. And yeah, there was a whole bunch of reasons for it, but 16 years later, we still don't know where my house went, where our house went. We know who got the money. And this is why I say white privilege does exist. It most definitely does exist. Because show me another race where they get together and they steal someone's house, they steal their homeowner's insurance money, they ban the 4th of July, and they get away with it. Show me another race that can do that. Because it was all white people that did it to us. Made us homeless, made us destitute, and then told me, well, it's not in retaliation. Frank, it's not in retaliation. We didn't retaliate against you. We just wanted your money. That's white privilege right there, buddy. They banned the 4th of July, stole our house, stole our money, and nothing happened to them. You want to tell me white privilege doesn't exist? I say you're a liar. Right there is white privilege. Now, 2019, it gets a little bit better. The same city, the same people. Well, not the exact same people, because most of them left. But some of the same people. I went around the city recording the corrupt public servants being criminals and lying to everybody and violating people's rights. I recorded them, and they took me to court to evict me out of the county. And then they tried to pass a city ordinance that almost passed. It almost passed. They wanted to ban audio and videotaping in public. I told them I was going to be the first one to file a lawsuit 30 seconds after it went through. After they passed it, the city ordinance, I was going to be the first one to file a lawsuit. I told him that. I told the mayor that to his face. So that is white privilege, when you can go around and violate anybody and everybody's rights and nothing gets done about it. Nothing gets said about it. Nothing. Nothing. That is white privilege. That is white privilege. I even have court papers that state all of this. All of this. That's white privilege right there, buddy. Textbook white privilege. So people want to tell me white privilege doesn't exist. Look, man, I'm biracial. Like I said, I'm Indian and I'm white. I grew up looking at both sides of the fence, the full spectrum. white people have way more privilege than any other race. When I did those race baiter cards of what race are you white, are you whatever, every time I would fill out the card, I'd hand it to a white woman, and she would always say, "Oh, sweetie, you're white enough." And she would change, she'd give me a new card, and I was white. They made me white. Even though I am biracial, the white people made me white. I was always white enough. I was always white enough. I don't know, I'm not trying to hate, but that's just been my life. This stuff happens, and people want to say that it doesn't, but I have proof that it does. So, that's white privilege, textbook white privilege. It does exist, and it's here to stay. Peace and love.